Well, this is fun. I haven't gotten to sit in front of a camera for a while and just tell you what my thoughts are. So yes, a lot is probably going to be coming out for the next, 5, 6, 7 minutes. You just stay with me. We'll figure out where this thing is going to go. Yeah, it's been a long time. During that time, I had that weird experience of getting to play games without any other purpose than deriving some pleasure or maybe some escapism. Of course, a lot of those months did seem to take place during the summer where there weren't that many games. And so I had to take on sort of an attitude towards game playing that I really have never had the luxury of doing before, which is I'm gonna come up with arbitrary goals because that way when I accomplish them, I feel like I've done something during the long, hot, dry summer of unemployment. So I'd put in Skyrim and be like, I'm gonna walk north and kill everything that I find. And by the end of the day, I'm like, look, I did something, yay, hug myself, gold star, let's have a drink. Eventually, towards the end of this time, games started coming out. And the two I kind of wanted to talk about right here are Dishonored and XCOM. Why they had to come out on the same day, I do not know. It was really like one of those, which are my babies? You know, do I love more when I'm gonna play? I'm not gonna tell you which one. But as different and distinct as the two games are, they really hit on something that is probably one of the most effective things that's happening in game design right now. And that's the idea of choice. And I'm using choice in a way that's different than how we've applied it to a game like Mass Effect, where the choices are kind of discrete. And you can see I am in a position of choosing. In these games, the choices were very organically tied to the gameplay and how you followed your way through the game. Now, to be fair, this is not something that's brand new and never before seen in game development, but in how distinct the two games were and how refined that element was, it really highlighted that that really is probably the best trick and one of the most desirable things that you can have in a game experience these days, because there is no equitable situation in any other types of entertainment media out there. When playing Dishonored, you're in the wide level and you're just finding your own way of discovery, how you want to play, how you want to kill the guard, how you don't want to kill the guard, and the manipulation of the environment. That's a level of player investment and player engagement into that world, into the gameplay mechanics, that when you do things right, I mean, it really was one of the most satisfying moments I've had in playing a game this year. And then with XCOM, it slowly creeps up on you just how dynamic the directions are going to go, whether or not you really want to go heavy on your research, if you really want to just arm up your guys so you just have a bunch of tanks with the big plasma blasting shotgun things. And then, of course, getting to arrange all of your army men to see if all of these ideas and these decisions you made were going to pan out. For me, it was a long haul of death and sorrow until I finally got my hands on that. But it really did ratchet up that tension, all of that sense of investment. And I think it really is investment that makes us connect to these games so much, gets you so into those franchises, gets you so into wanting to go back and play it again. And when you look at the more traditional games, not that there's anything wrong with them, that are pretty much trying to figure out what the right way to do. Oh, excuse me, let me try that one more time. When you're just trying to figure out what the game wants you to do, it can be fun. It requires a very strong narrative because you get that reward of where the story's going. But at the end of the day, I don't think it stays in your head in the same manner as these games where it really is an act of creation. I'm thinking of, I'm not going to quote it directly, Marcel Duchamp, said that when he did art, it was still the role of the person looking at it to complete what was happening there on the canvas. And I think really games are perfectly articulating that, and you can really see that in games like XCOM or Dishonored. Now, one other thing that happened during the course of my time away, I talked to a lot of 7-year-olds. There were other people there, their parents, so don't get any ideas about that. And they all were so into Minecraft. And this really surprised me because when I was young, there was not a wide swath of games available. They tended to be the arcade games or arcade game logic that was put onto the original Nintendo system. And what you had there was, you got to do it the right way. You've got to work with the mechanics that the game gives you, and you just got to go forward and kill those things. And I felt that it worked with me because you're in school and everyone's putting pressure on you to do well, and that everyone's grading you, and that you wanted that clear sense of reward, like the high scores you get in the game or just getting to the next level. And I had just kind of extrapolated that logic and thought that all young people thought that way. I am completely wrong. Minecraft, great game, completely terrifies me. I'm overwhelmed at the beginning of it because it doesn't really tell you what to do. You just have to figure it out for yourself. And I think as years and years and years of adulthood, you just kind of want to do the right thing. You want someone to tell you that you're doing it right. And these kids, their problem solving, the way of approaching it, this very, very inventive way of digging, mining, building, and keeping themselves safe at night just seem to work with that. And I can see how they're getting more and more invested because of this sense of choice, that they're really, really looking at their decisions and the creation of their decisions. And I think we're about to grow a generation of far more astute gamers that don't have to unlearn the lessons of the past and are really being presented with this idea that, you know, the games are more of a toy than they are of a mission. And, you know, if I'm around all crotchety and old at the age of 75, I can only wait to see what this generation is going to be designing. Because, you know, at the end of the day, I think games is the safest place that we all can make a choice. Now, you're probably wondering, what's this thing that Adam is doing? Well, it is not, we have not named it yet. So we're going with the name SESSLER'S something, and we actively encourage all of you to submit an idea of what you think this should be called. There probably are no bad ideas, except for maybe a couple, so go ahead and do it. If you want to do it on Twitter, do it with the hashtag #TheSess. Obviously, you can tweet it right at me, at Adam Sessler. Also, if you want to see more of these, because they are a comment, well, subscribe. YouTube/Rev3Games, or you can subscribe on iTunes. I'm not going away. I'm going to keep on chatting. You might as well try to listen.